Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're looking at a couple of fun knives here. We have this massive Schrade Boneyard here, and we also have the Schrade Needle, as well as a small needle, okay? So I call these fun knives because these don't have really practical reasons outside of maybe self-defense. We're gonna start with, well, let's start with this Boneyard, right? And then you're looking at this, like, that's pretty extreme looking. Yes, it's a huge karambit. All right, so pop this out of its sheath very carefully. Put that off to the side. All right, you can see there it is in all its glory. It is, in fact, a massive karambit knife. You can stick your pinky in there and hold it in a forward grip like this. It is double-edged, all right? So the back edge is sharpened from here all the way to the point, and then obviously the full front edge is sharpened. All right, you can see on the blade there, Boneyard. All right, this one is in AUS 8. And this is a fun knife. So what is a fun knife? Well, like I said, there is a practical use for this thing. I mean, unless you could, you know, chop down some probably sugar cane or, you know, some shrubs or something like that if you really needed to, I suppose. But for me, this is just something to stash away. It's kind of cool and fun to play with. But if the zombie apocalypse ever really does happen, this would be a great blade to have in your hand. I would probably have this in my offhand, all right, just like this. And, you know, you can slash with the back of the blade, you can hook with the front of the blade, and my dominant hand would probably have some kind of a baseball bat or something like that. I'd save the ammo, you know, killing all the zombies. But yeah, this is just one of those knives that you have to have. I think it's just really cool. You know, I don't have a practical purpose for this. Although, you know, hawkbill style blades like this, they are fantastic for slashing. But again, I mean, I'm not fighting any zombies yet. Hopefully never. But if I ever do, this will be in the stash. This will definitely come out for the zombie apocalypse. But other than that, it's just kind of a cool looking knife. This would work very well for regular self-defense too. I'm sure this isn't, you know, people's first option for self-defense, but I'll tell you what, it would be devastating, all right? Again, in dominant hand like this, reverse grip, you can certainly, you know, grapple with your left hand, do what you have to do, but you can slash on the way in, you know, slash on the way out, slash with the back of the blade. It's just, you know, like I said, it's a pretty menacing knife here. But yeah, and it's a huge pain to put it back in the sheath as well. You have to kind of hook it in. But it's cool, and these sell for about 45 bucks or so. So there it is, it's locked in the sheath, not gonna go anywhere. All right, you can see belt mount sheath, although it is kind of a strange setup. I did actually carry this just to see what it would be like to carry, and you do have to do kind of an awkward arm movement to get this out. If you're belt carrying it like normal, just like this, looks like a little Persian sword or something like that with that extreme curve. But yeah, it's an interesting knife. It's a fun knife to me. Now these are fun knives as well, maybe a little more practical in the sense that most people would be able to carry these a little easier. But these are the Schrade Needles. All right, so there's a small one here, and then there's the larger version. The larger version has serrations on both sides of the blade towards the base here, okay, which are extremely sharp. Both of these knives are in AUS 8 as well. And these work very, very nicely as boot knives, all right? If you look, there is a pocket clip on the sheath, okay, even though this is longer. With all these cutouts, the slots and the holes, I mean, you can mount this pretty much anywhere, or literally have it in your boot if you happen to have tall boots. But fantastic option for a backup to a backup to a backup. If you do actually carry some kind of a boot knife or something, this would be very effective. Obviously for stabbing, we have, I mean, it's called the needle because it's this long, slender blade. Even the short one here, it is double-edged. Of course, you know, be careful of your local laws and things like that. Carrying double-edged knives, unfortunately, they are restricted a lot of places. But it would work very well. It pierces very nicely. There is a guard on here. The handles are actually really comfortable. All right, especially in this grip right here, because we have a little bit of a palm swell. There's actually a little bit of jimping here for your thumb. To hold it like this in your hand, especially the small one, is really, really comfortable. I mean, I feel like I could stab with a lot of force and not have my hand go forward. And of course, you could just stab in the traditional reverse grip as well. But yeah, I mean, these are actually really good boot knife options because they're cheap. And generally speaking, your boot knife as a weapon, you know, a backup weapon, is not something that's getting used. So the large one, it's only like $20 most places, and the small one's under $20. It's about maybe 15 or 16. So this is something you'd buy once for under 20 bucks, kind of forget about. You can leave it, you know, literally carry it in your boot. You can carry it on your waistband. You can carry it anywhere. Again, because of the sheath style, you can mount this guy literally anywhere. These could be nice options around the house too. You know, obviously if you have kids, keep that in mind in you know, storing any kind of self-defense weapon around your home. But you could put these, you know, you can get creative and mount these behind dressers, you know, up, you know, on the ledge of inside of a closet or something like that. You know, it's depending on where you are in the house, you have these different, you know, options for defense outside of firearms. Now, obviously, I would always recommend firearms, and ideally you'd have one in every room in your home. But not a lot of people have the availability to, I mean, even the people who have the availability to own firearms don't have the money to buy 20 or 30 firearms if you have 20 or 30 rooms in your house. Well, I suppose if you have 30 rooms in your house, you have money. Or maybe you don't because you have a 30-room house. Anyway, it's just a nice little option. You know, not everyone's into guns. So if you do choose a blade for your choice of self-defense, these are fantastic. And again, because, I mean, AUS 8 is totally fine. These aren't knives that you would just daily use and cut things open. You totally can, and because it's cheaper, you can get away with that. And if it happened to break because it does have a very acute tip on it, who cares? Buy another one. You know, it's under 20 bucks. So if you really did want to use this, you know, if you're not so into the self-defense side of things, you could get these knives and you can use them. They're totally fine. They're not the most ideal blade shape, you know, but it'll get stuff done. You can also carry this one as a neck knife if you wanted to, especially because of the flat profile on this clip. You could put your cord through the top two holes here. It'll, you know, hold very nicely on your neck like that. And at any point in time, you can take it off and clip it to something as well. All right, so not a bad neck knife option on the small one here. Although I do push my limits with neck knives, I think the big one might be a little bit extreme. Although maybe I'll carry this as a neck knife just for the giggles. All right. Because people, you know, will constantly look at my neck knife, especially when they're larger. Like this is kind of a large knife for a neck knife, excuse me. And if I wore this, it would get some attention, but I think it'd be kind of funny if I just wore this sometime, just hanging around my neck. Because everyone who knows me, especially locally, they're used to seeing me with neck knives. But if I had this thing, they'd be like, dude, what is that? You know what I'm saying? It's just funny. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The new Schrade stuff is pretty cool. This is nothing new. I mean, the needle and these boot knife style knives have been around a long time. The Boneyard is something that's a little bit different and unique. But these guys have always been classics. And besides these, I actually got some of Schrade's new stuff. They do have their Made in America line. So I have been testing those with kind of, you know, hit and miss results. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like. So we'll talk about those in the future. But yeah, Schrade's just kind of hitting the scene again. They have their new Balisong, of course. If you haven't seen that before, check it out. But anyway, for this video, I just wanted to talk about these models here. Again, these are what I consider kind of fun knives. You know, I keep weapons all over the place, everywhere you can imagine, because you never know where you're going to be or what situation might arise at any point in time. I mean, that's the whole point. You never know when you might be attacked or your life might be threatened. So it's just good to have options. So, you know, knives like these, and this one as well, this is no exception either, even though if you defended yourself with this one, you might have a little bit more trouble explaining that in court. But hey, I always go by the better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6 ideology. So, you know, act now, think later. Not always the best thing, but hey, if it keeps you alive, it is what it is, right? So anyway, that's all. Let me know down in the comment section if you guys are rocking a boot knife. I'd be interested to hear. And if you are, what kind of boot knife do you carry? Again, these are fantastic options. Obviously, for the large one, you need a pretty large boot. So if you're rocking a cowboy boot or something like that, it's no big deal. But if you got some, like, you know, outdoor hiking high ankle boots, that's going to be a little rough to try to hide this in there. But this guy can go a lot more places. So that's it. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.